either. So guess what?
Okay, guess what? So then we get to the New England Patriots. And again, they've ridden the roller coaster all year, but if you take away the Miami Miracle, they were going to be 10-4. And Tom Brady played his best game of the year, and Bill Belichick, because of the late blunder, cost them a football game that they should have won their house. Okay, but look what they would be if you take away that last play and the deflation, the knock you on the floor of that last play, then maybe they go win at Pittsburgh. Maybe they can.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out.
And by the way, they're thrown into the end zone at the end of the Pittsburgh game.
Hold on. Wait a minute. The deflation. How do you get deflated? When you tell me when J.R. Smith didn't put the ball back in the basket, LeBron James, if you're the GOAT, you got to overcome that. You can't be deflated. Why is Tom Brady deflated?
You just made the all-time worst analogy.
Why?
The football game ended on the last play. The New England Patriots didn't get the ball back. It wasn't going to overtime. It didn't tie the game and send it to overtime. If that game had been tied to go to overtime with the Miami Miracle, Tom Brady wins that game.
So why are you deflated going into Pittsburgh? You said they were deflated going into Pittsburgh. Why?
And thank you for bringing up the LeBron game. That was the disqualifier for the GOAT discussion. Well, you brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
I got a problem with it.
Because he played maybe his greatest regulation playoff game in his history. And that's hard to do because he's had a lot of good ones. But what did he score? 49 or whatever it was?
49 at that point.
49 in regulation.
Yes.
He turns down a last-second shot when he had been crazy hot from outside. They blow the end of the game. Obviously, JR was knuckleheaded. And LeBron James goes to the bench and separates himself, distances himself from the team, and sits 8 or 10 feet away and sulks and pouts throughout the timeout before the overtime, and then pouts for the first 2.5 minutes of the overtime and will not even take a shot. And they fall behind by 7 points and lose game one. That's what you call quitting.
So,
that's it.
You just told me that Tom Brady played his best game against Miami. So why would he come out and lay an egg against the Pittsburgh Steelers the following week?
But he played the best game of his year, and his coach had an all-time un-Belichickian, ungenius blunder that left the whole football team on the mat.
I love
their hearts out.
I love how we nitpick every decision that doesn't work out in the Patriots' favor, because I've seen Coach Belichick make some moves. I've actually been in the game when he's made moves, and he gets labeled a genius. He benched Kyle Arrington, who was getting toasted in the Super Bowl against Seattle, and inserts Malcolm Butler. Malcolm Butler comes up with the interception. He's a genius. Now, all of a sudden, he does what he thinks is going to be in the best interest. Now, once he sees they're not lining up in a Hail Mary formation, I believe he should have called timeout. But who am I to second guess?
Everybody second guess that.
Okay.
Even you.
I did, but hey, that's neither here nor there. But what does that got to do with Pittsburgh? What does that got to do with your guy doing the dying growth syndrome, falling away from contact? What does that got to do with that, Skip Bayless?
Well, he led a drive from his 25 all the way to the Pittsburgh 11.
Did he lead it in the end zone?
Yeah.
Did he lead in the end zone?
Was it his fault they got a holding penalty that set back 10 yards?
Now you see, Skip, we blame everybody. So I was going to make sure.
I'm just saying.
Was it Matt Ryan's fault that Jake Matthews got a holding penalty in the Super Bowl that pushed him out of field goal range?
Just for the sake of this discussion, I'll give you this. Pittsburgh was all on Tom Brady. It was all his fault. He threw one interception in the game and whatever. But let's give him all the blame for that game. Are you going to write them off? Because I'm not going to write them off in the AFC tournament.
The question was not, Jenny, who are we writing off? Are the Saints the best team in the NFL? And you didn't give me anybody. Who's the best team?
Right now, I'm going to give a slight edge to New Orleans, but I just think it's wide open because I will not be shocked if Pittsburgh goes and wins at New Orleans. And remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers had lost 3 straight ahead of the New England breakthrough, and they had just lost at Oakland. You like that? I don't like that. So do I love the Steelers? I love what they could be. That was the best game they played all year. New England got their best shot, especially on defense. That was a defensive, by their standards, tour de force.
You like New Orleans losing to Tampa opening night?
No. I give them a slight edge. I still, just because they're such a good home team that I've got them. It's going to be hard to beat them at home, but I like Dallas because Dallas beat them at
home.
Yeah.
Are they going to go to New Orleans and play that way again?
You don't think they would like their chances going in there? You don't think they'd go in with some confidence?
They'd have the confidence.
I think New Orleans would like their chances at home. That's why home field is so important to the Saints, because they are a different team in that building.
And then that brings me on the other side of the tournament to young Lamar Jackson. He he's playing crazy hot football right now. And everybody's got a bad loss in the last month or so. Everybody's got a bad loss, including my Cowboys on Sunday. But the only team with a good loss is the Baltimore Ravens, because they had Kansas City dead to rights. They had them 24-17 with 1:29 left in regulation. And as you know, 4th and 9 conversion by your guy, my homeboy. And we know the rest of the story. They survived in overtime. But to me, I can't rule out the Ravens because their defense is so good.
Well, we'll find out a lot more about the Ravens on Saturday night against the Chargers.
They're at the Chargers on Saturday night.
The question is if they fall behind, Skip, because here's the thing. As long as you're in an advantageous situation, you're winning the game, you can run the football, you can control the clock, you can limit the Chargers' possessions.
Yeah.
What happens if they go down 10? What happens if they go down 14?
But they haven't been, because they now lead the league in time of possession, the Ravens.
Yeah.
So they got the best defense and the best ball control offense. I don't know. Is that not a formula for success?
Well, yeah, if you're since he's been in there, they've been averaging about 230 yards rushing.
Okay.
Well, if you run the ball 230 times for 230 yards, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
So Lamar Jackson is 4-1 as a starter, but the victims have been the Bengals, Raiders. They won at Atlanta, which I still think is pretty impressive. Then they lost at Kansas City, and then they beat Tampa Bay.
You think Atlanta is impressive for the simple fact Dallas won at Atlanta. So you don't want to devalue Atlanta, because then it would be devaluing the Cowboys. See,
I just think that at home, Atlanta can be pretty explosive.
You think because I got these old new tortoiseshell glasses on, I can't see, but I see right through
I did not see your new tortoiseshell.
No.
Yeah.
I had these for a minute.
Nice. Yeah.
But I see through old Skip Bayless. I see old Skip Bayless, what he's trying to do. Stop trying to accentuate the Cowboys. They are who we thought they were.
The truth is, I don't see a best team right now, which means it's open for teams like Dak Prescott's and Lamar Jackson's. Wait and see.
Well, it is up for debate, the best team. We're going to break down the Cowboys if they got exposed on Sunday.
Exposed!
And then there's Tom Brady. He may have been exposed as well. We'll discuss that next.